Quality decision making. Who makes the decisions in your venue? How, why, when, all of those things. Give you an example. I worked at Northwestern State in Natchitoches, Louisiana, Division One Southland Conference. I was the director of facilities and events. I was on the senior staff of the athletic department. I was a sport administrator for volleyball. My voice should have been listened to. I was an expert in events and facilities. And I was often not listened to. Our athletic director, again, kind of getting into politics and those things, was pulled in many directions on campus. And he agreed to host a Taste of Louisiana event in our basketball arena. I tried to tell him that I didn't think that was a good idea. That Taste of Louisiana means deep fryers, and deep fryers and electrical systems don't always mix. Nor does doing that on a hardwood basketball court. And I tried to tell him that I thought we would have some issues and that I didn't think that was a good event, and it was going to cause us to move 2 days of practice for our volleyball team as well. And I did not think that this was something that was proper. He did not agree with me. He was my boss, so I had to listen to him, and he was the decision maker in that situation. We did over $5,000 worth of damage to our electrical system that night. We blew the panel and we had to change it. That was walking in Monday morning. I was a pretty big "I told you so." That I tried to tell him, and he just didn't want to listen to me. And so, that's something that happens. And frankly, that happens at every level of sports and at every employer. Period. You may work in a grocery store, and the managers don't understand what you go through at the checkout line because they don't work on the checkout line, right? And good organizations empower their people to make those decisions. And the best venues are operated by people who are intelligent enough to make those decisions and are empowered by the leadership to make decisions. And that's really, really key in event and facility management, is having somebody who can make decisions and feels like they have that power to make those decisions. Because things are going to happen on a day-to-day basis in the building, in the event, that no one was prepared for, that's not in the event manual, that's not in the timing sheet. Something goes horribly wrong. It has in every event I've ever worked. And you don't have time to go ask your boss, especially if they aren't there, to call somebody and get permission. You just got to do it. You've got people in the building. You've got teams waiting to play. You've got to fix it, and you've got to get the event off and running. And so, that can be very difficult. And those two things can be at odds with each other sometimes. That maybe you make a decision and you're called in on Monday and you're asked why. Generally for me, we did what we had to do to make the event work. And that's usually been as simple as that. Sometimes I've had bosses that didn't understand that, but those that understand events and facilities knew what I was saying. Like you do what you have to do, and it may not be an A+ solution at the time. It may be a C solution, but C is a passing grade, and it gets us through. And then we'll go back and we'll fix it on Monday, and we'll make it an A solution later. But you do what you've got to do to get the event to run. And so decision making is so important on a daily basis as well as on a long-term basis. Of course, your senior leaders and those people are going to be working on renovations and those things. But again, as we talked about in facility design, it's still important to include those frontline people who are in the building every day and know how it operates to make sure that those decisions are made properly and in a way that works with the venue.